Hey guys, it's Nicole. Welcome back to Chronicles of a Crafter. We are going to finish up this Trash to Treasure junk journal that I'm making. Did I say that right? Trash to Treasure? Anyway, yeah, we're going to finish this this junk journal that we started a few days ago. And this is a Make It Monday, so let's make it a great Monday, guys. Today, I'm just going to line the inside cover of the book with my, this is sort of like Tyvek tape. It's called Book Guard. It's basically a polyester woven tape that it's used to bind books. And I'm just only going to reinforce these two folds right here on the inside cover of the journal. And yeah, I'm just going to use, this is about an inch wide. So yeah, I'm just going to use this book binding tape here. Try to get it as centered as possible on the line, and it just reinforces the opening and closing of the spine, sort of. So I'm just cutting it exact to match. I'm not going to wrap it around the front. Why? Because we've already decorated our front cover. So I should have done this first, but you know, we are living and learning together. And yep, it just needs a little piece to go across that fold section, and that helps this process. Okay, so now I'm just going to train the tape to do what we need it to do, and I'm going to cut away the excess that's down here on the bottom. Here's my tiny snips. Okay, and it doesn't have to be straight. It should be straight, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be, but it should be. Okay, so there's one. I should have just cut it straight to begin with, but it's a little bit of a process. And that's what crafting is. It's just one process after the other until we get it all done. So here is this section, and I'm using, I don't know if I told you guys that this front cover came from this paper pad called Spring Botanic. It's from Stamperia, and yeah, it's just a bunch of double-sided sheets of paper, cardstock weight, so about 190 GS and or 190 grams. And I just went ahead and photocopy this inside cover right here so that I can use it on the inside of here. Okay, so those two are going right here on the inside covers, and I'm going to use some framer's tape here in the center of the spine to cover up the white binding tape. So this right here is framer's tape, and I will cut this straight so that I don't have to worry about it afterwards. I'm going to cut this as straight and on the line as possible. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing directly next to it. Guys, you don't have to have framer's tape to do this, or bookbinding tape or anything like that. You can use what you've got. I've even binded books before with Gorilla tape, masking tape, anything that's like a permanent hold. You want to get as close to permanent hold as possible. So any form of masking, Gorilla tape. This right here, where is it? Oh, this right here is Gorilla tape, and it's sort of a same concept, polyester woven type of tape that that bonds really well. And the reason I'm not doing anything to the outside is because we're going to line the outside with this lace, crocheted lace fabric or ribbon. And yeah, so now we have something that looks like this. And now I can place my matted inside covers like so, and like so. So very little of the white is showing, and that's perfectly fine. I like that a lot. Let's go ahead and I'm going to use Scotch Create glue stick for this, and I'm just going to glue right up to that first seam on the white bookbinding tape. And there will be a small mat all the way around here, so I'm going to make sure I get my corners on the paper. And I hope you guys are having a nice day, crafty day. You know, Make It Mondays are just what they are. I want you guys to make this with me if you can. Again, this is just junk turning into junk journals, and yeah, I think it's doable just by having what you've got on hand. And this is my back cover. That's nice, and I'm going to do the same thing for this side. I'm just getting glue in the center of the paper, or the book inside cover, and now all over the paper. And again, I just photocopied this onto some white cardstock just to give it weight. And yeah, and because I only have one pack of that Stamperia, making copies of the paper pack really does save me a lot of paper, so I can use it on other projects as well. Okay, so there's that. And what I've done was I went ahead and measured the outside spine with my ruler to get me these measurements here. You see these dots on the spine here. Those are the measurements for where I'm going to put my signatures. In this journal, I'm going to have 3 signatures, and this is what they look like. I went ahead and cut my paper to size, and there's 6 sheets in each signature. So there's, you know, this many pages is going into the journal. So let me just show you how I got my center on the journal. I went ahead and just measured the spine. It's about 2 inches wide, and I just used the centimeter side and found the center, which was 14.5, and then put a mark on either side of that evenly spaced. So each one of these are marked at 13, 14.5, and 16 centimeters. All right, so there's that. Just going to train this book some more to open and close with all this tape that we have on there. And now the spine is really strong, like it feels really firm and reinforced. So yeah, I like having that tape in there. Okay, so to get the exact measurements on your signatures, I'm just going to show you how I do it. There's probably half a dozen different ways to get it done, but this is just what I do. I take my spine, my signatures, and I line them up against the spine of the book at those marks that I've made on the spine itself, and I just use my pen and I draw a line on the spine of these signatures going up. So here, let me do them all and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so I put a little dot on each signature on the spine of the signature based on the dots that are on the spine of the book. And this way I know for a fact that these 3 signatures will line up with those holes when I make them with the crocodile. Okay, so let's just go ahead and do that. My crocodile is right here, and I'm going to reinforce these holes with eyelets. So I'm going to use my smallest setting on the crocodile, which is 1/8. And I'm just going to pop a hole right over those dots that I've made. There's one, 2, and 3. Okay, so those are my 3 signature holes. I'm going to slide my settings back here. There's one, 2, and the 3rd. Okay. All right, so there are those 6 holes all done, and I'm going to do the same for the bottom of the spine. There's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so now we have those holes made for eyelets. Okay, and I'm going to find my tiny eyelets. Hopefully they're readily available. Let's see. Okay, so these are my 1/8 eyelets here. Let's see if this one's it or if it's the little bigger one. I think this one might be it. Yep, that fits in there nicely. And actually, I'm going to put them the opposite. I'm going to put them with the pretty side on the inside, seeing that we're covering up the outside anyway. So I'm going to put them in here like this. Okay. And get that one in there. Alright. And 3 more. Alright, and I'm going to change my setting on my crocodile to accommodate these tiny eyelets. I do not know what the actual settings are because I believe this one has the writing on it. It's set for, yeah, it's so small. I really can't tell you what it is, but it's the tiny little bib on this side and the brass bib down at the bottom here. Okay, so to squash these in, you just place them in there and find the hole. There's one, 2. Yep, it's doing it. 3. I think it's getting through. Okay, and let's do this other side. And now I'll do these 3 in the center, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got my eyelets through all of those holes there, and I'm going to go ahead and punch my holes in my signatures in order for it to fit into the journal. So there's a couple of different ways you can do it. This is the way I'm doing it today, and I'll show you what I'm up to. Basically, I take my signature and turn it inside out on itself so that I get a nice crease on the outside of the signature. And with my Crocodile 2, I'm just going to punch holes on those 3 dots that I made there. Okay, there's one. 2. 3. Okay, so I'm going to fold my signature back over and grab the second signature. Again, I'm just folding it inside out on itself and following those 3 dots that I made previously. There's one. 2. And this just takes a little bit of concentration, guys. That's all it is. And I'll just take these back over to my eyelet holes and line them back up. Make sure I have them right where I need them. Yep, those work out. And do the next one. This will be my first signature in the book. Okay. And those are all of my holes for my journal. So let's go ahead and pop these in while we have them here and ready. I'm going to use some wax thread. This is bookbinding thread for the most part, and an extra large needle. And I'm just going to leave it on the spool. I usually measure it out, which would be 3 times the height of the journal. So what you do is you get it onto your thread and then you measure 1, 2, 3. That's 3 times the height of the journal. But I'm just going to leave mine attached to the spool, seeing that I have so many signatures to go through here. So let's just do it this way. I'm going to start with my back signature. So let's see. Oh, my book is upside down. Okay, so let me place my pages in, rotate the whole thing. Always check to make sure that your book is right side up. So now this one becomes my back signature. And it's just personal preference which one you want for your front or back. And because this page right here is smaller than the others, I have to make sure that that one's lined up in there. And you start with the center hole. Okay, we're doing a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. I can move these for a moment. And we're going into the back hole of the book. in the center. Alright, I'm going to pull it upwards and go through the top back hole of the spine. And then go through the top of the signature. You may have to realign some of your pages if you didn't clip them in place. Normally, if I'm doing a large signature, I use a paper clip or a binder clip to make sure all of my pages stay in place, but these are just 6 pages in a very small journal. And once you come through on the top, you want to pull your thread all the way through and then come all the way down to the bottom and go through that bottom back hole of the spine. Okay, pull it taut and then go back through that center to come up through here. Oops. So you're going back through this center one. And you'll come up through the middle, right there. Okay, now I want my spines to have a little bit of a dangle. So once I tie this off a couple of times, I'll have enough left over at the bottom that I can probably put a little bit of jewelry on, maybe a couple beads or something. I'm just going to tie this off in a knot. Okay, and I'm going to snip away the roll, and I'm going to tie it one more time in another knot, and then a bow for now. But the option is there if you want it to dangle below the signature. Alright, so I just need to train my signature cover to close in the right place. I'm just training it to stay in its place in the book, and I'm going to go on to the next signature, which is going to go right here. And again, I'm just using the same process. I'm going to leave my spool attached. I'm going to go through this center hole, and this time we're using the center eyelet, and come through the middle, go up the top, come all the way down to the bottom, and then back up through the middle again. And using grommets really help with making sure that you don't thread your pages or thread your previous thread. You know, because there's only one place for it to go once it has the grommet, the eyelets on here. So push that through there and through there. Okay. I'm going to get it all aligned and make sure that, one, my thread is long enough to do the exact same thing from before. And then I'm going to make sure that my threads are tight back here. There's no bowing or looseness in them. And I'm going to tie this off, pulling it just taut, straightening up your pages if they've shifted. Okay, and put it in a knot, and then another knot, and then a little bow. And if I decide to do jewelry later on, I have the option to do that. Okay. And again, just get that crease going so that these pages lay flat in the journal. Okay, and the last one, whoops, the last one, I'm going to do the exact same thing one more time. So in case you missed it, I'm just threading my large eye needle. Did it go through? Yep. I'm going to find the center page of my signatures. And if your pages are various heights, which mine are at the moment, just make sure that you get them all lined up appropriately. Start with that center, go through the center of the spine, go up to the top, or you can go down, whichever one you prefer. But just make sure that you always come back to the center when you're done. And I forgot to tell you, like, the most important thing. If you've never done a pamphlet stitch before, the most important part of this is to make sure that you have one string on either side of this bridge right here. I know it's hard to see on this set, but there's a little string that we've created a bridge with by passing it up and down the spine. And yeah, you just want to make sure that you have one string on either side of that bridge, pulling it tight but not tearing, making sure your strings are the same length and cutting off the excess, and then tying it off in a knot over the bridge. Okay, and then I'm just tying a little bow right there. That is the key to getting a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Making sure that your thread comes up through the middle on either side of that bridge. Alright guys, so this is my little mini junk journal that I made from junk. Alright, and I think I'm going to put a couple of pockets here. Knowing that now, I should have only used half of this sheet, but it's perfectly fine because I have more. I just copied it from the paper pack, and my printer makes pretty decent, accurate copies. So, alright, just train everything to lay the way you want it to. Make sure your strings are tight. And I'm just going to open this up in the center of the book, like so. And this is my crocheted ribbon that I want to put here on the outside, and it will hide these signature stitchings that I've made. So yeah, I think that's going to look super cute. I'm going to put more of the ruffle at the top and very little down at the bottom. This way there'll be nothing impeding it from sitting on a shelf. And I'm going to use Fabrifix glue for this. I'm just going to get some all around the edges of the spine, and then go through the middle here. And this is a clear silicone glue. It dries perfectly clear and bonds forever. Oh goodness. Okay, so now we have this right here, and it's crochet material, so it does have a little bit of stretch to it, so that's a good thing for lining the outside of the journal, because when you do this open and close constantly, you can run into some hindrance, you know, if you use something that's a little bit too firm. So I try not to put paper on my spine as my outside. When I usually cover my journals, you'll notice I use fabric mostly. So, yep. And this will be the outside cover of the junk journal. Okay. I'm just gonna snip off some here at the top. Don't need that much. Okay. And that is making a junk journal from junk. Alright, remember we had, oh, where are they? I must have put them back, but these were made from, this book right here was made from a cardboard box. Okay, so just picked up where we left off, and now we have this. Alright guys, I'm going to leave you here. I think I will put some pockets in this book using some of these journaling cards that comes with the paperback. So yeah, I can put a little tuck right here. In fact, I think I will. Let's do that right now. I don't have to go anywhere. Do you guys have to go anywhere? I got nothing but time. We're junk journaling. Okay. Get the string out of the way. And I'm going to put this little tuck right down here. I just used some Fabrifix glue and glued down one of these little journaling cards from the paper pack. Comes with them. And I can put this one on the back side. I think I'll put this one at the top, and I can tuck something up. Your tucks don't have to only be at the bottom, just so you know. I can tuck something up this way as well. So yeah, I'll put this one at the top here. Whoops, I glued the wrong side. It's a good thing I caught that. Okay, so I'm not gluing this side. I'll have to glue this side over here. So okay. And I'm going to put this down right here in this corner up here. That's a good thing about Fabrifix. If you make a mistake, you can just roll it away. It just erases itself. It's sort of a silicone-y type of glue that just rubs off. So you have plenty of wiggle time as opposed to art glitter. So, alright, I think that looks super adorable. And I can just tuck anything in here. Tuck that there. These are just various cards. I'm just showing you how they tuck nicely into the journal. And I can tuck this one up here, but I want this glue to dry first. So anyway guys, like I said, I'm going to leave you here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and tried this project with me. It's really easy to turn trash to treasure. Have a crafty day guys. Stay naturally curious, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.